What is going on, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about the base card revolution and why I think it's going to continue. So I don't know if you've noticed recently, but my checkbook sure has. Base cards are on fire. They are so expensive right now. This little guy, this could be had in February for 40 bucks. Now it's going to run you 150. I know what you're thinking. That's Michael Jordan. There's a documentary out. Of course it's going up in value. Okay, I get that. Easy one. Well, what about this guy? He doesn't have a documentary out right now. And this guy has gone from $100 to $150. And we can go on and on and on and on. So what is it? Why are base cards all of a sudden increasing in value? So let's talk about that. There's a few reasons why base cards have started to increase in value and a couple of reasons why I think they're going to continue. So let's first talk about why have they started increasing in value. We have had a number of people come into the hobby. Those might be people who are just discovering it because they have time off work. Those might be people who are looking for alternative investments. It doesn't matter. The fact is that we've had a lot of people entering the hobby over the last couple months. A lot of these people entering the hobby have a couple things that they're looking for. They're looking for something that they're familiar with, but they also want something that might have a little rarity to it, right? So when you take those two factors together, what do you get? You get somebody who's entering this hobby, who has a little bit of disposable income, who watched some of these star athletes growing up when they didn't have probably a lot of money because they were a kid, right? You can't have all this money to go buy cards with when you're a kid, but now you do because you're 30 or 40 and you have some disposable income. So what does that cause? That has caused a lot of the base cards from 90s superstars to start to increase in value. Now, why a base card? Why it could be anything else. And to be honest, a lot of the other cards are increasing in value too. But why are 90s base cards increasing? So when you get into something new, you're going to want to look for something that you're familiar with, right? You don't exactly understand the industry or you don't exactly understand the investment. You're going to look for something that you're familiar with. Same reason why a lot of you probably just put your money in a 401k into an S&P 500 fund, right? It's easy. You know what you're getting into, and quite frankly, everybody else is doing it. So base cards, they're familiar. We remember these things when we were kids opening them up. We remember getting that pack of cards, hunting for that certain player, and that card image is instilled in our brain. Now, a lot of these cards were printed in the millions, so they're not rare. They shouldn't be expensive. And quite frankly, raw cards, a lot of them still aren't very expensive. So why has these cards in PSA grades blown up over the last couple months? Well, it's because we've taken that familiar image, that iconic image, and now we've made it rare. We've put a PSA 10 on it that has a population of only so many. So we've taken that familiar card, that's something that you remember as a kid, and now we've made it rare. And that's why cards from the 90s and PSA grades have blown up over the last couple months. Now, will this continue? We've heard a lot of people talking that cards are in a bubble right now, that things are getting too expensive. There's a couple of reasons why I think this is just the beginning. Number one, when it comes to the cards that have already increased in value, those 90s cards we've just talked about, while there's an unlimited supply of raw cards, there's a very limited supply of high-grade PSA cards. Even though in the 90s we thought we took care of cards, we put them in top loaders. Well, those top loaders are now all yellow, and when we put them in, we nicked a corner, or they weren't right out of the pack because there was millions of them printed. There could be a number of issues, not to mention the fact that PSA is very, very strict on some certain cards that they grade. So the population, while there might be a ton of raw cards, the population of high-grade PSA cards is going to be limited. So when you have a supply that's constrained, you have a demand that has really skyrocketed, but I still think is going to continue to kind of grow and develop over the years. That's going to create pressure, upward price pressure, at least for the time being. Now, what else can we look for? So with those cards increasing and getting out of, quite frankly, some of our price ranges, how can we capitalize on this base card trend continuing? Well, modern cards, right out of the pack. So a lot of us might go to Walmart and find a blaster for $20. Take the base cards of today's superstars. So for basketball, you're looking for LeBron, you're looking for Giannis, you're looking for Steph. For baseball, Mike Trout. Football, Tom Brady. Take those base cards. They don't have to be rookies or any inserts or anything like that. Take those base cards out of the pack, look them over, and get them graded. Same thing I think is going to happen 10, 20 years down the road. And we've already seen a little bit with some of the base cards of some of today's superstars is they're increasing in value because they're starting to be iconic, and getting them graded makes them rare. Again, it's that supply and demand. Basic economics 101 applied to the card market. How easy could it get? Is take those base cards, get them graded. So to wrap up, the base card revolution is just getting started. Take those 90s base cards, keep them, they're only going up in value. Start getting those modern cards graded. I've posted a couple videos where I've shown some of my mail days and a couple of my PSA prep submissions. I'm just taking cards that are worth a couple of dollars, taking the ones that look like they're going to be PSA 10s and getting them graded. And I think over the long run, you're going to have a lot of fun in this hobby and you'll make a lot of money by doing that. Talk to you next time.